Over the years, Nigeria has pursued a number of agricultural development policies with a view to achieving food security, inclusive growth, sustainable economic diversification, and wealth creation. A lot of these policies are targeted at crop production. Recently, however, we have seen the searchlight beamed towards animal husbandry. As part of these efforts, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and other relevant stakeholders are drafting a new policy that will revamp the livestock subsector in line with modern reality. Tonight on the program, we are bringing you the highlights of stakeholders' meetings organized to develop new policies for the subsector. The program is Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, and I am your guide, Gabriel Ojile. I'll be back after the break for details of what we have for you. Keep watching.
What we did here is mechanized.
It's back to land, back to agriculture.
I can supply the milk factories for milk.
That's the new norm for employment and for wealth creation. Get your piece of the action.
Before farming, we will spread the manure.
There to take on agribusiness.
They have been working in terms of making sure they give us new breeds.
Seize the opportunity you have been waiting for. Watch Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, showing every Friday at 8:30 p.m. on the NTA network service.
The program starts with news stories from the diary of the ministry. In our lineup tonight, stakeholders call on National Council on Agriculture to respond to issues in the livestock subsector.
The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, has called for vigilance against the outbreak of monkeypox, which is now ravaging other countries.
Recently, there has been...
Abubakar stated this at a press briefing in his office in Abuja on Thursday. The minister says the outbreak of monkeypox in 12 other countries that were previously not endemic to the disease have been reported to World Health Organization (WHO). Abubakar pointed out that the countries with the new cases of monkeypox disease include Australia, Belgium, Spain, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Sweden, United Kingdom, and the United States of America.
Epidemiological investigation so far revealed travel links to endemic areas as the cause of the outbreaks. Monkeypox is a zoonotic infectious disease, which was first detected in 1958 in monkeys. Rodents are now seen as possible means of transmission of the disease to man and animals. Monkeypox is primarily a disease of non-human primates like chimpanzees. It is a self-limiting disease with symptoms of bumps, rashes in humans, which is usually mild and lasts between 2 to 4 weeks, with 3 to 6% fatality rate.
The minister stated that the ministry is working in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service, Nigerian Customs Service, and other relevant stakeholders to prevent the entry of the disease into the country. Abubakar says the need for synergy becomes necessary because the outbreak of monkeypox in Nigeria will reduce human and animal population in the country. He therefore urged the general public to avoid contact with wild or dead animals and other major potential means of contacting the disease.
Avoid contact with any material such as bedding that has been in contact with a sick animal. Practice good hand hygiene, such as the washing of hands and the use of alcohol-based sanitizers after contact with infected animals or humans.
He disclosed that the ministry has distributed gadgets for early detection and advised the general public to be vigilant and report any suspected case to the appropriate authority. Stakeholders in the animal husbandry subsector have resolved to forward a memo to the National Council on Agriculture and Rural Development to address issues militating against the development of the livestock subsector in Nigeria. The decision was reached at the end of the 4th National Animal Husbandry Committee meeting, which held in Abuja. In the communique at the end of the meeting, the Assistant Director, Animal Husbandry Service, Razak Yakin, highlighted some of the issues to include moribund feed laboratories, multiple taxation on livestock, avian influenza in the poultry industry, among others.
A. That legal advisor should advise us on way forward to address multiple taxation. B. Synergy between animal husbandry and veterinary department to fight avian influenza. C. PAN should restructure a memo for onward transmission to INCA. And D. Government should assist the farmer in the area of feed production.
Speaking earlier at the opening ceremony of the 4th National Animal Husbandry Committee meeting, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, NSPRI, represented by the Director, Animal Husbandry Services, Winnie Lai Solari, stated that the meeting was to scale up efforts that would reduce importation by increasing livestock production in Nigeria.
This meeting is in line with the vision of the federal government and is meant to articulate through the change approach the standard and best practices applied at all levels towards looking at the livestock sector from a more pragmatic national development viewpoint.
The National Animal Husbandry Committee functions as a policy-making organ in the livestock subsector. The meeting was attended by the representative of Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Director of Animal Husbandry Services, State Directors of Animal Husbandry Services from the 36 states of the Federation, and FCT, amongst others.
The livestock subsector in Nigeria holds great potential, which, if properly harnessed, will put the nation on the map of countries with great economic potentials. However, the subsector is confronted with many challenges that must be addressed for this to happen. The 4th National Animal Husbandry Development Committee meeting, which held in Abuja recently, made great efforts in assessing the achievements in the livestock subsector, identifying challenges, and the way forward. Let's take the highlights of the stakeholders' engagement in the first segment of the program.
Agricultural crops and animal production and processing, like every other sector of any nation's economy, are driven by policies and implementations. Little wonder then that stakeholders converged at the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute in Abuja to redefine policies, learn from experiences towards the coming up to models that will work to improve the livestock subsector. They include Representative of Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Director of Animal Husbandry Services, State Directors of Animal Husbandry Services from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Animal Science Association of Nigeria, Nigeria Institute of Animal Science, Poultry Association of Nigeria, Veterinary Medical Association of Nigeria, private operators in the livestock subsector, and other relevant stakeholders. In the course of the 4th National Animal Husbandry Development Committee meeting, memos were received from different states of the Federation to know the level of progress and challenges along the livestock value chain in the various states. One of the states that has recorded great achievements in the livestock production is Sokoto State. The state disclosed during the meeting that it has 4.2 million goats, 3.5 million cattle, 2.5 million sheep, and the training of technical staff in partnership with Argentina and other stakeholders is in progress for improved production.
It has also signed an agreement with South African Brangus Society, a specialized cattle breeding association in Pretoria, with the purpose of improving the milk yielding capacity of our local Sokoto Gudale breeds in Sokoto State. And the state has also established pastures for livestock at Dogondaji Cattle Ranch, in Tambuwal local government area, and it has rehabilitated about 5,000 liter capacity dairy plant in the state. It has also rehabilitated more than 5 small earth dams for nomadic cattle use in the state.
Sokoto State, however, presented challenges bedeviling the subsector to include farmer-header clashes, the need for capacity building of personnel on modern innovative livestock production techniques, and to tackle endemic diseases of animals. The Poultry Association of Nigeria also presented a memo for a policy framework that will address the challenges of multiple taxation, inadequate feeds, poultry diseases, among others.
We have recommended actions for adoptions for quick win incentives for the poultry industry. One on that is that the federal government, with all sincerity of purpose and action, put up strong measures to immediately control, contain, and bring to a halt the further decimation of the poultry industry by avian influenza. If you go to the second paragraph, you discover that in the last 7 years, between 2015 and 2021, the industry has lost over 5 million beds, principally to the outbreak of avian influenza, as compared to less than 1.5 million beds in 3 years. That is when we had the first outbreak of avian influenza. That was between 2006 and 2009.
After a technical session where every stakeholder made inputs on the memos presented, the National Animal Husbandry Development Committee resolved to draft a memo to National Council on Agriculture and Rural Development, which will be approved as policy to address the pertinent issues raised and discussed. The communique advocated measures that will create an enabling environment for the livestock subsector to thrive in Nigeria.
The committee deliberated on the memoranda and reports submitted by various experts in animal husbandry and animal production sector and noted as follows. A. Government to put a strong measure to control or halt avian influenza in poultry industry in Nigeria. That high import duty and interest rate discourage poultry production. C. Multiple taxation to be addressed by joint boards.
The National Animal Husbandry Committee meeting in the past developed policies that have gotten the approval of National Council on Agriculture and Rural Development. For the committee, the challenges identified will be addressed through policies that would be drafted in a memo at the end of the meeting.
The program is Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, and we are showcasing the effort of stakeholders to totally transform the livestock subsector through policies that will enhance efficiency, job and wealth creation. One of such efforts is the recent workshop organized by the ministry to validate the National Animal Breeding Policy document. Issues highlighted during the workshop include what the nation needs to reposition animal breeding in Nigeria and what the new policy seeks to achieve. Let's see how the workshop went in our next segment of the program. Please stay tuned.
On the 13th of May 2022, stakeholders in the livestock breeding industry gathered to validate a national animal breeding policy for Nigeria. Those present at the validation exercise include the Department of Animal Husbandry Services of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, National Animal Production Research Institute, Nigeria Institute of Animal Science, Animal Breeders and Geneticists Network of Nigeria, Animal Science Association of Nigeria, Nigeria Society of Animal Production, Veterinary Medical Association of Nigeria, and Livestock Genetics Africa Limited, among other bodies. The main thrust of the policy, which was validated, is to provide strategies and guidelines in animal breeding, ensure conservation of local genetic resources of economic value, improvement of local animals with exotic breeds, provide guidelines and regulations on entry of external germplasm, classification and structuring of livestock into appropriate value chains and suitable system of production, provide relevant ethics in the practice of livestock breeding for increased productivity, among others.
Given the suggested principles and guidelines in this document, it is certain that the due process for achieving rapid progress in the nation's livestock industry has begun. With this policy document, it is expected that appropriate Federal Executive Council instrument will be put in place to ensure professionalism of animal breeding practices in Nigeria. It is hoped that with this breeding policy, rapid progress will be made in animal agriculture through more efficient breeding for increased productivity. A vibrant policy guideline or guiding the conservation, harnessing, and manipulation of our farm animal genetic resources will facilitate sustainable, long-term economic and production gain. Kind consideration, approval, and implementation of this policy will enhance food security, job creation, poverty alleviation, economic boom, and improved livelihood in our great nation, Nigeria.
For the National Animal Production Research Institute, NSPRI, the policy will address the problem of a proper approach to animal breeding.
You need to select the best out of the herds and then improve upon them. So as the Nigerian population is growing, more of the animal protein is also needed. And in terms of employment too, more people are showing interest in livestock production. And all this will not succeed without effective breeding. So therefore, we are all here gathered today to validate the breeding policy on livestock breeding.
For the Animal Science Association of Nigeria, experience and science have proven that the improved breed of animals are useful for economic growth and other purposes, thus making the policy most timely and appropriate.
When I was in Jos as a young officer, I was rearing pigs. I had the local pig. I raised them from winners for 8 months. I was able to sell the animal for 3,500. The same, I now got hybrid, fed the same feed to the hybrid. I was able to sell for 15,000. Did I gain anything? Using hybrid, it was an improved breed. But in Nigeria, we had been using anything that we see, and there was no direction. And even the original gene pool we have had been violated, and nobody's seen anything wrong. But today, the light has come.
The Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association was also present at the validation of the policy document and made input that will enhance the health of livestock.
Over 9,000 veterinarians in Nigeria. We are glad to be part of this validation process because we can't be talking of animal breeding without the health component. We can't breed sick animals. We call them because they will not give us good results. So we are glad to be here in this validation so that the health component of the breeding policy will be adequately looked into, and this validation would have taken care of all those who are supposed to be part of the validation process.
For the Animal Breeders and Geneticists Network of Nigeria, an organization that is a network of all the experts in the university system and research institutes involved in research and genetic improvement of animal in Nigeria. The approval of the policy document will give a sense of pride to every stakeholder in the livestock subsector as they are all carried along.
At the end of the day, government will accept that all animal breeders and geneticists and all that are having a hand in animal production, in animal distribution, in animal marketing, in animal export and import will have a say, and they will say that Nigeria is carrying everybody along in livestock production.
Further interview with the Director Animal Husbandry Services of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development revealed that the private sector is adequately involved in the development of the policy and that the policy will create an enabling environment for business to thrive.
Even in this room, you see private sector coming in to play a key role because really in the livestock industry, except we make the private sector the center stage and give them the opportunity to take the lead, we will not go far. Because as government, we are just to create enabling environment and then support them to make sure that their businesses thrive so that eventually the Nigerian economy will be better for it, jobs will be created, and we'll have a stable environment to work.
For the Livestock Genetic Africa Limited, a private sector that specializes in crossbreeding, artificial insemination, data collection and pasture development, the policy upon approval will impact positively in private sector involvement, especially dairy production.
The kind of cows we have in Nigeria today can only produce 1 to 1.5 liters a day. And the kind of breeding cows that we can have to breeding policy, with this breeding policy, we can have to be genetically or kind of expert, be able to help us to be able to crossbreed and get a cow that can be able to give us 25 to 30 liters per day.
For the private sector participants, the policy will regulate breeding activities and success can be better evaluated through data collection.
One of the ways it's going to impact an organization is that crossbreeding, artificial inseminations in Nigeria have been going on almost quite disorganized. We have no proper organizations, we have no proper policy guiding inseminations. Everybody brings in various types of semen from different countries who have not been validated for quality. So with this policy on ground now, we are going to have proper organizations. Anybody that is bringing in semen is going to be well validated before he's able to bring in the semen. Is this semen proper for use in Nigeria? Is it appropriate to be used in our indigenous breeds? How do we conserve our gene pool of our own indigenous breeds? So all these things are going to come into focus.
The policy upon approval will also improve livestock extension services in the country.
Anything that does not have guidelines is like a banana republic. Anybody can do anything. You don't have a means of checking errands. You don't have a standard for the best practice, and you are targetless. So this policy will focus on the stakeholders. It will guide the operators in the industry. It will facilitate the dissemination of information across stakeholders. The farmers, the various actors in the value chain will be guided.
Those were highlights of the discussions at the National Livestock Breeding Policy Validation Workshop. Earlier on in the program, we also saw the decisions reached at the end of the 4th National Animal Husbandry Development Committee meeting. All of these are geared towards improving productivity and maximizing the potentials of Nigeria's livestock subsector. Meanwhile, at one of the meetings, our crew interacted with Bako Simon, a participant who is a civil servant from Kuje Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, who is into crops and livestock farming. He shared with us how farming has been very helpful to him and advised other civil servants to embrace agriculture. Let us hear from him in our next segment, Farmers Speak.
It is not good to say you are a civil servant and you cannot go to farming. By the time you go to farming, it will help you. It will help you and your family, and you can even assist some people outside. Let's say there are some people that I assist them. They will come to my house, they didn't have food to eat. So I do help them. So by the time you join farming with, you join civil service work with farming, it will help you with your family and you can assist people outside also. For instance, last week I sold 2 goats. These 2 goats, one was 20,000, one was 25,000, and I was be able to pay some of the school fees for my children.
It is obviously going to be a new dawn in the livestock subsector once these policies are approved and adopted with implementation. Self-sufficiency in livestock and dairy production will not be too far off in the nation's future. Join me again same time, same station next week for another episode of Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, and I will take you through what the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is doing to change our fortunes as a nation using agriculture. I'm Gabriel Ojile. Have a great weekend and bye for now.